Hola, hola. Welcome to the second class of these 30 days to learn Spanish from beginner to intermediate. So guys, remember that this plan is to learn the most important thing that you need to know, which is the verb to be in English. In Spanish, we have two of them, right? The verb ser and the verb estar. And you need to know them very well because we will use them all the time. And if you don't use it in the right way, you will always sound like if you're a beginner. But first, we want to focus just in the verb ser. Again, remember, in English is I am, you are, he is, she is, but in Spanish you have two of them, right? The verb ser and the verb estar. So we start already with the verb ser because the last class we were doing here the personal pronouns and how to do the conjugation for each of them. And we learned the first topic, which is adjectives to describe personality. We learned a couple of them, and I told you to do these sentences so you can put all of the information together. And now we're going to continue. Okay, guys, so let's go to the next topic, which is going to be adjectives to describe appearance. You are still using the verb ser, the verb to be ser. So to describe appearance, we're going to have here a couple of adjectives, and I will read them 2 times. You will repeat after me. The first one you will listen, and the second one you will repeat with me. So let's do it. Hermoso, hermoso. Guapo, guapo. Elegante, elegante. Rubio. Notice here that when we have the R at the beginning, it's very strong, the sound. So it's rubio, okay? It's okay if it's not perfect right now, but you need to do a very strong sound. So rubio. Morocho. C-H-O, it's cho. So morocho or morocha, okay? Something important here is that all of them, they will change if it's a girl, if you're talking about a woman. So hermoso, it's for a man, but hermosa, it's for a woman. Guapo and guapa. The only ones that they don't change, depending if it's a man or a woman, are just the ones that are not ending in the O or in the A, right? So for example, elegante, it's ending in the E, so that's why you will keep the same adjectives for both genders, see? So elegante is in case that you're talking about a man or about a woman. Okay, let's continue. Pelirrojo, pelirroja. Pelirrojo. Now it's your turn. Okay, calvo and calva. Now your turn. Calvo. Alto, alta. Alto, alta. Great. Bajo. You see here the J is very strong. Bajo, baja. Now your turn. Bajo. Delgado, delgada. Delgado, delgada. Musculoso, musculosa. Musculoso, musculosa. Gordo, gorda. Gordo, gorda. Viejo, vieja. Viejo, vieja. Joven, joven. Joven. Deslumbrante, deslumbrante. Atractivo, atractiva. Okay, so now that we know the adjectives, let's try to put everything together so we can describe people. This time we're going to use something super important, which is the. You will have 4 ways to use it. Female singular, it's la. Female plural, it's las. Male singular, it's el, and male plural, it's los. So in English it's just the, but in Spanish we have 4 ways. Now, what we're going to do is to put everything together because we already know that here we have here all of the adjectives to describe appearance. We know that to describe appearance we need to use the verb ser. And here we have people that we're going to describe. Okay, let's try to see what is the pronunciation for each of them. So, hombre, hombre. Remember that when we had the H at the beginning, there is not sound in Spanish, so you completely avoid to pronounce the H. hombre. Then mujer, mujer. Muchacho, muchacho. Muchacha, muchacha. Niño, niño. Niña, niña. Okay, so now that we have those three things, what we want to do is to make these sentences, right? So how do you say, I will help you with the first one, and then you guys will try to continue with the rest. So if I say, the man is tall, I know that to say the, I will go here, and I need to choose, right? Because if I say man, it's just one, and it's male, right? So I will go to the male, but singular. So I will take el to say the man, it's el. Now I need to find how do you say men. El hombre. El hombre. And now I need to see how do I say is in this situation. So here, because you don't say here he is, right? And if we go to the first page where we were doing here, the personal pronouns with the verb ser, so you need to find which one is the correct one that you're going to use to describe, like to replace for men, right? So the correct one here, it's gonna be he is. We just need the is in this occasion. So you don't have to say el, you have just to take es. So we go back and we say, the man, you will say el hombre es, and then tall. So if we go here, we take how do you say tall, which is here, alto, alto. So you say el hombre es alto. And that lets us a sentence using the personal pronouns, using the verb to be said, using how to say man, using the using the right, how to say el. So you have everything together. That's what we want to do. You here basically you're not learning like how to say specific things. You want to put everything together. See, that's why this guide is pretty good, because you are learning here how to make a whole sentence, and that's what is going to give you the opportunity in the future to feel more confidence to have a normal conversation, because you will know how to put all of those things together instead of just learning random things like the, and then how to learn like how to say man, right? But here we put everything together, and that's what you need if in the future you want to know how to make a sentence and how to be fluent in Spanish. So what you have to do now is to complete the rest, right? You will take, okay, the woman is brunette. So you want to find all of the ones that I was showing you. Remember that all of these in this guide, you can have it. If you go to the link in my bio here in YouTube, you can find the whole link. You can find the link that is going to take you to my page, to the Conari Academy, and you will have the guide there. Right now, what you can do is maybe take screenshots, or you can write them, so then you can complete them, okay? Also, in the guide, you will have the correct answers, okay, so but what you can do also is to leave your answers in the comments of this video so I can correct you. Okay guys, so what we're going to do now also is to describe things, because before we were just learning how to describe people in the personality and in the appearance. So again, because I want you to understand this very well, remember that in Spanish we have two verbs to be. In English you just say I am, you are, he is, she is, but in Spanish you have two of them, the verb ser and the verb estar. And a lot of people, when they don't know how to apply them, they don't learn how to apply them correctly. They will describe someone in the personality or in the appearance with the verb estar when that's grown, and you need to use the verb ser, okay? The verb estar is the one that we're going to learn later. Okay, so again, we come back here in the aptitudes to describe things, right? So we're going to describe here not people anymore, we will describe just things. Okay, I'm gonna read them 2 times. The first one you will listen, and the second one you will repeat after me, so we can try your pronunciation. Okay, so grande, grande, pequeño, pequeño. Remember a little thing again, I'm sorry that I stop a lot, but grande, it's ending in the e. So grande it won't change the gender, right? But pequeño, yes, pequeño is gonna be or pequeño or pequeña. Okay, so let's read them. Grande, pequeño, pequeña, rápido, rápido o rápida. I would just read the ones in male, and then you just be aware that you need to do them also in female. So, lento, lento. Caro, caro. Barato, barato. Delicioso, delicioso. Viejo, viejo. Nuevo, nuevo. Moderno, moderno. Feo, feo. Bonito, bonito. Útil, útil. Cómodo, cómodo. Peligroso, peligroso. Picante, picante. Okay, I think I'm going way more than 10 minutes, but it's okay. Let's try to finish this topic because it's kind of easy anyways. So, okay, we have this vocabulary already. We know how to describe things. Remember that this is for things, right? So, what we want to do is to describe very specific things. See, we're going to describe these ones. And also we're going to learn los pronombres de pertenencia. That is when in English you say my, your, his, her, our, and their. Okay? So first, I'm going to read them. I will describe them. So I will read the pronunciation so you can learn how they sound. Okay, so to say car, you will say carro, auto, coche. This is depend on the country, okay? So you would choose basically the one that you feel is better for you to remember because it's depend on the country, but we still understand all of them. So maybe in Argentina we use more auto or coche, but we still understand what it means carro. So it's okay. You can use the one that you remember the best. The next one, house is casa, casa. Ropa, ropa. Comida, comida. Sofá, sofá. Teléfono, teléfono. Computadora, computadora. Okay, and now let's try to go with them. To say my, you will have two options, me and mis. And that's gonna be depend on how many things you are describing, okay? So if I wanna say, for example, my house, I will use me. But if I'm describing many houses, I will say mis, right? So mi casa and mis casas. It's the same with all of them. So tú, tus, su, sus. But here with our, it's also going to be depend on the gender of this word. So, nuestro, nuestros, nuestra, nuestras. For example, if I say our car is just one and it's male, so that's why I would take nuestro. But if we have a lot of cars, I would say nuestros carros or nuestros autos. And then if I go to the female one, maybe I will say casa. So our house is nuestra casa. But if I have many houses, if we have many houses, I will say nuestras casas. Okay, and now for their, it's gonna be su and sus, the same as the third person, su and sus. Okay, so now that we know all of these, we know how to describe things that we are going to use the verb ser and not the verb estar to describe. Okay, so now that we know all of that, we want to put everything together. We're going to have here some sentences. I will help you with the first one, but then you will do the rest. Okay, so if I say my car is fast, I know that to say my, I will say me. And if I have just one car, as we were talking, is mi carro, mi carro, right? Because I have just one. Okay, so now we are in the second topic. We already know how to describe someone. Okay, I'm sorry. I was like, what? Where that voice is coming from? It's my guide. And to say is, I would say es, right? Because it's just one. And that's the cool thing about describing things and not people, is that you don't need to use all of the conjugations for the verb ser. Why? Because here you would just take two. If it's singular, if you're describing just one thing, you will say es. But if you're describing many things, for example, here, when you say her computers are, that one is going to be son. So those are the only ones that you will use whenever you are not describing people. So here we will say, my car is, you will say, mi carro es. Mi carro es. And then to say fast, you will say, rápido. Rápido. Okay, guys, so again, you can take a screen capture, you can take a picture, you try to complete them, you try to find what is the translation, and you can write your answers in this video in the comments, so I will correct you. Let's see how are you doing with them. So this is the end of this video. For the next class, we're going to learn nationalities, so we will start with a new topic, but again, because I want you to understand this very well, remember that when you are describing someone in the personality, in the appearance, and when you're describing things, you will always use the verb ser and not the verb estar. Okay, guys? Okay. I hope that you really enjoy this class. Remember that in the link in my bio, you will have more resources. And I hope that you have a great day. Thank you. Gracias. Ciao, ciao.